Infernal Shrines, everybody! Let's go! Best of one series at the beginning of the X-Cup Fall Qualifier number 8. And we got a rematch! Chili Donuts against Team ORDAH. And last time that these two faced off against each other was in the exact same position last week, in the last tournament. Because back then, the Donuts were a little bit wrecked by Team ORDAH. And that was a huge upset for the team in blue, because they still have some very, very strong players. They are sometimes a little bit, I mean, they have one or two players that tend to run a bit late and they are one of the more chaotic teams, but these guys are obviously really good and know what they do. But last tournament, they realized that in the best of one, it quickly can turn against them, and that's exactly what happened. Team ORDAH came in and took them out. Obviously, everybody that's playing on the right side of the screen right now in red has been in the scene for a long time too, so these guys are not no-names, but they definitely came into the series as the underdog, and they were able to win against the Chili Donuts, therefore secure a couple of extra points for themselves for the standing. And let's keep in mind, everything here is for the playoff ranking. So you gather points as you proceed to the tournament. The better you do, the more points you get. And that leads to a leaderboard. The top 8 in the leaderboard qualify for the playoffs. And of course, seeding is very important here as well. And this is a pretty important match, because not only if you win here do you deny points to your opponent, but you also increase yours. So it's a fantastic opportunity to catch up in points or just simply gap your opponent. And that's what Team ORDAH is going to try and do today. But for the Donuts, this is going to be a bit of a... I mean, it's a bit of a benchmark. Because losing once in a best of one, you know, can happen. Shouldn't, but again, it's a best of one, so what are you going to do? If it happens again today, though, then that would be a big setback for them. And that could definitely hurt their position in the leaderboard quite significantly. And also, with qualifier number 8, we finally reached a position where Vala is starting to get banned out. But the little caveat here is that this is Infernal Shrines in our best of one, so the multi-shot build has already been banned in the past quite a bit. We have Blaze and Junkrat on the other side banned out. Both of them, of course, great at holding not only the shrine, the point, but also Junkrat. I mean, he is pretty much banned out all the time. If he's not banned, then he's taken. He offers so much. He offers damage, he offers poke, interrupt potential on certain maps. And in addition of that, you have, of course, always the option of simply coming in and display, like using your mind to just launch someone into your own team and open up a kill opportunity. Hogger and Stukov for the initial picks after we have the Dehaka first pick for the blue team. Again, the Globals reigning supreme here. And in addition to that, also attempting to get some additional AoE plus the Tong follow-up on any kind of stun is always nice. Which brings us, in terms of stuns, also to Lauber. This might not be the perfect map for it, but he's been Mr. Muradin lately. And has been playing Muradin over and over and over again. Not so sure if we're going to see Muradin here, and I doubt it. And yes, there is Johanna now taken. For a simple reason that on the objective itself, Stormbolt really doesn't cut it most of the time. It's too much clutter. There's too many random things running in front of your Stormbolt, so they go for Jojo this time. That allows them to control the point a bit better. It allows them with the Condemn to make plays. You have also the Falling Sword. For some reason I was thinking about Leaping Sword, and I don't know. Yes, she leaps into the background, but that's not the same thing. So, yeah. We have, in this case, obviously the Falling Sword that can be a really, really nice play, especially when you hit 20 and get the insane cooldown reduction. But more importantly, you have AoE on the point, you have good survivability, you have also self-sustain through your level 1, Laws of Hope. Brightwing comes in together with that. And Mephisto gets banned, so they're targeting Maka, and I think that's a smart move too. Maka has been playing the hero a lot. Nick has emulated that a bit for the Hardos, which by the way do not participate in this particular tournament. But we have Team Wah and Gunners on in the later rounds, most likely. And here's the ban against Diablo. Leo for Wit, apparently as a main tank. Okay. ORDAH! And there's Lulnara and Zarya. Yeah, they're gonna swap heroes around a bit. I also should probably point out right now that we have a sub for the Chili Donuts. Skog isn't playing today. Apparently he had some internet problems, and so they subbed in Max Passion. And I can only assume that they are going to swap in... switch Max Passion and Rutsu's hero. But for the last pick, what do we have? Frontliner, quite likely. And it is Sonya, indeed. Sonya, Leo, and Hogger up at the front. The triple bruiser as a front line without a main tank, trying to control the Infernal Shrines. Guys, let's go. It's the rematch. Who's going to take it? We're going to find out right now. Alright guys, let's go! Apparently there was a little bit of a change here that they discussed in chat. As you can already see, we're looking at Zeratul instead of Zarya. So it seems that there was a bit of a mispick made during the game, and players agreed in the game chat that they wouldn't restart the entire draft for it. They announced it quickly, and therefore we now have a slightly adjusted draft. Everything else, as you can already tell, has stayed exactly the same, so no real trouble here. But for that, we're now going on to the donuts with Lauba on Johanna, Rutsu on Zeratul, Max Passion on Dehaka, Maka on Lunara, and Backhult on Brightwing. On the right side of the map, Wit on Leoric, Blade on Sonya, Death Knight is playing Stukov, we have Zero on Hogga, and Lopaka on Hanzo. And well, here we go. We got our first game of the day, and it's immediately a bit of a highlight, with this being the rematch from last tournament. And for the Donuts, there is a little bit on the line. Not only points in the tournament, but honestly, right now, their reputation, at least to some extent, is also something that they have to fight for. And we have another pause. Now, I gotta admit that I'm starting to get a little bit salty at the blue team, because they've been delaying this tournament for quite some time now. Today, and we are pretty much half an hour late at this point. And now, once the game starts, we have an insta pause. So I've mentioned in the draft already, they're a little bit of a chaotic bunch sometimes, but today they are definitely overdoing it a little bit. Anyways, as it stands with level 1, we have Low Blow on Stukov. And in addition to that, also the fealty on the death here for Leoric. We've seen all kinds of variation for Leo in the last couple of days and weeks. So that's another one that we're gonna get here. And well, as you can tell, there's also the Laws of Hope as already announced in the draft for Joja as a level 1. Makes her way more sustainable. She has a lot more self-sustain. She doesn't rely as heavily on Backhult and Brightwing, and has a bit more of a chance to survive there at the front line, so it's good for her. With the triple bruiser arrangement that we have for the red team, they're obviously going to try and play this very aggressive on the point whenever they have the chance to. And strength in numbers at this point. Most of the time you're having the double front line with the main tank plus 1 bruiser, but if you go that heavily into a triple front line, you can play Leo as sort of the main tank here, and also try and trade the cooldown a little bit. So yeah, good for that. Quick move here through the middle. Make and Rutsu already sitting tight as they're trying to take those Kazuras down, but it's the red team that locks in both camps. Every single time we're playing on Infernal Shrines with the first rotation starting at the 1 minute mark, it's more or less a battle between who gets 2 camps and who only gets 1. It's slightly an experience that you will get, and sometimes that translates into an earlier level 7 talent on the first objective. So both teams usually aim for it. It results frequently in battles over the third one. In this case, the Donuts let the third camp go and gave it up to Team ORDAH. We now have a tiny advantage in experience. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing really to write home about, but it's something to keep in mind, because as mentioned before, once that we have the first objective popping up, the teams will try and get level 10, at level 7 as quickly as they can for the talent advantage. Dehaka and Brightwing are both going to help though when it comes to that. So that's one of the reasons why the blue team didn't have to fight there, because they have 2 globals that they can utilize to pressure the shrine while still having some lane soak on the middle and the top lane. And then they can easily move in with both of them once that they get enough experience. So Sonya will have to move back down a little bit sooner than Dehaka, or they're going to run into a situation where it might easily be an early numbers advantage for the Chili Donuts. I mean, either way, there's a lot of CC now. The drag into the polymorph obviously going to be a thing. Hogga is trying to pog it out as much as possible. And there it is already. Going straight for the big poke here, but as you can see, being all alone on the shrine doesn't really pay off for him. So Zero needs to be careful. But they're starting to get some of the damage in, and next themselves quite a few of those minions. So it's 13-1. All the way up at the top, a double push. And this is where the 2 globals become really useful. That's exactly what they're doing. Blade is the only one against them, and he's trying to take down that shaman as much as he can. Always needs to be careful against the double CC that exists for the Donuts. But this is also a nice play for the blue team. And they haven't really used anything yet to move on to the shrine. The problem is they're losing out on this one. So the whole idea is to do damage on the off lane while they are trying to grab the Punisher. Defend against the Punisher at the bottom of the map. Try and do enough damage so that the Punisher attack is just mitigating that and drawing even. But it didn't really work out all that well. Blade did a great job at the top lane with Sonya, and now they have to deal with the Punisher down here. Bait over the wall has been successful. Leo and Sonya are pushing through the middle. And I gotta admit that Team ORDAH is getting very little out of the bottom push. With only 3 heroes around, they couldn't really make a whole lot of plays here. So they're just trying to slow the rotation so that Sonya can get more value up at the top. And they did a bit of work in the middle, nearly getting a kill on Johanna too. Play for Lopaka, but it is Zeratul that dies. And another big slap from our man Stukov against Jojo. That's the end of her. Red team is low, but they are also in a position where they still have Sonya at the top. So now they're pulling ahead with half a level. They have 2 kills to 0 and an opportunity to do even more damage to the wall now. Not too bad, honestly. Yeah, not too bad. So with that, we have the towers taken in the middle. Max Passion comes in and has to be very careful that he doesn't get attacked right away. If they had more CC, they might even have an opportunity to drop him to 50% HP or so. But they are using now the advantage that they have to get another camp. Or at least they're trying to. Rutsu was attempting to deal with that, but Death Knight was just waiting for him. They don't have level 10 yet, they're half a level away, and Death Knight himself is now in trouble. Gets attacked, Polymorph, but they're attempting to turn it once again. They're looking for Brightwing, they're looking for Rutsu. Zeratul is low, and he dies. But at least Hanzo gets dropped as a counter kill. Another play for Leo. He's trying to ghost out here. Wit is still alive, but not for much longer. They come in and take him down. Death Knight and Zero on the retreat. Both of them are able to make it. But level 10 is now in the hands of Team ORDAH. Still half a level ahead. Sonya already with the Wrath of the Berserker up at the top. One wham after another. And they are taking the entire wall. So, as the dust settles and both teams hit level 10, we have an advantage for Team ORDAH in structures, and Blade is willing to risk dying to take that fountain down. And as he dodges out on the drag, he has a very good chance of surviving. Brightwing comes in. Yeah, Polymorph is there. Yeah, and that's a little bit too much, isn't it? Yeah, if Lunara doesn't come in at the last moment, I think they got a chance. But of course, that creates a bit of space at the bottom of the map. And that's immediately used by Team ORDAH to push the lane. So they're trying to exploit these number advantages as best they can. They lost the hero top, but they're reacting at the bottom of the map by taking the wall down. And if they have a chance to take the fountain here, I would go a long way to take the sustain away from the opponent. The blue team has not really followed back up though. They are going for a top lane push too, and are just now with the globals making a play down to the bottom of the map. And successfully at that, I might add, they go for Hanzo and take him down, and this is going to be the end of Stukov too. Death Knight dies, and it seems that the donuts are finally starting to stabilize here. The plays around the global helped them to get the numbers advantage bot side while still pressuring top a bit. And so now they are starting to get slightly ahead in experience and also establish a pretty good position on structures. 5 kills to 3, level 12 is in. And for now, we got the Hoarder pulled, we got Dragon Strike in play, Entomb is ready, Wrath of the Berserker. Still a couple of wisps around to give the additional vision, but with the next objective being up and about, it's time for the next big fight, and there's half a level missing to 13, so that's a good opportunity for the red team to bring the battle to the Chili Donuts. They're pushing into the point, they have the triple bruiser set up. Wit always willing to die if he can trade, but so far is only being poked down. Max Passion though is also low and has to pop his essence. And Blade with the Wrath of the Berserker still moving in and out. Here comes the Entomb and the immediate push into the backline by Lauba as he uses the Falling Sword. They go for Leo, he dies. They're looking for the trade. The red team trying to get a kill and they get it. It's Lauba that dies. Johanna is gone. 6 kills to 4 in total. 29 to 21 points towards the objective. Currently a lead for the blue team, but they're getting pushed off the point. They're low. And here comes Sonya once again with the spin to win attempt, going for the big slam and just dropping Zeratul. Lunara dies to 38 to 36 points, and Team ORDAH, they turn it. They also kill Brightwing at the top, the Fruit Fly eliminated, and with a push through the middle of the map, it should be the end of the fort down here. Level 13 talents for both teams. In this case, it hungers for Team ORDAH. Not going for the virulent reaction. At the bottom of the map, we have the push through the bot lane now in an attempt to not only take one fort, but to take 2. And up at the top, another push straight away for the fort. Alright, there we go. 6 kills to 7. Level 14 is in. They got a level advantage. Leo is still sitting tight. And it seems like they might get away with taking all 3 forts. Maybe not quite. We're here just in time to get the AoE through with the Haka. Wit trying to trade and hold them here as best he can. And they're invading this one. And Jojo isn't here. Jojo is not here. If they focus on the fort and then try to take the Haka down, they have a real shot at making that happen. And that's exactly what's happening. They go for the Haka, they go for the fort, they take both of them. 8 kills, 2-7 now. And boy, we got a game on our hands. And for the Donuts, this should be a bit... I mean, they should worry a little bit. This should honestly be concerning to them. Yeah, the blink into the silence, that didn't really do anything for him. Nope, he just outplayed himself. Well, it was nicely done by Stukov, don't get me wrong. So it's not only that Zeratul made a bit of a mistake, obviously he didn't know. But yeah, Stukov outplayed him here. Just look at this. They know where he is. Death Knight comes in, puts it on the point, he blinks in, and that is the end of Zeratul. So yeah, as funny as that might look and as easy it is to blame Zeratul for that, maybe he risked a little bit too much here, but at the end of the day, it was honestly Death Knight with his Stukov play that made the kill happen. So kudos to him. Credit where credit is due. Nicely done. And yeah, outplayed, son. 9 kills, 2-7. Level 16 is now available to the red team. And this would be the second time in a row that the Chili Donuts lose to ORDAH. And they really have to rethink their status as a favorite if they lose this one as well. Because this is a single elimination bracket. We're still in the qualifiers. This is not the playoffs. So they would be out of the tournament. Zero is holding on to the spot up at the top. Down here at the bottom of the map, there's already another camp that they're trying to take. With level 16 talent advantage, there's nothing that the Donuts really can do outside of trying to create a numbers advantage and gank up on somebody. So, yeah. Here we go. Camp taken. Up at the top. He's about to take the 2 once the objective gets announced. Brightwing is around, and they see her, of course, thanks to the minion vision. But this is a really nice play by Team ORDAH. Second week in a row. Now, they haven't won this yet. 16 versus 16 talents are now a thing. So this is where things are going to become a little bit more dicey. And, yeah, this should be fairly interesting from here on out. Because for the blue team, there's a lot on the line. They're still a level behind. You can bridge that. Bit of a play. Hanzo out. Lauber trying to catch him here. That didn't work for him. And once again, it's Stukov. Death Knight. He's able to move out. The meme strike. Trying to cut a bit of a wedge to... oh, careful. Blade. Yeah, it's going to make it too. So they're buying some time for Leoric up at the top. But they need to be really careful because they're super... I have no idea what Blade just did. Blade went in way too deep. Yeah, here comes the ORDAH pull. They're trying to keep him alive. Fantastic entomb by Wit. But Zeratul is still going for the kill and he gets it. So yeah, Blade going a bit too ham there. Not sure if he didn't see them coming in from below. But he just went forward and then with only half of his hit points left, he had absolutely no escape left to him. Obviously, topside needs to be dealt with. And the Haka is now on the way trying to take the Shaman camp down. But oh boy, that hurt. That really hurt. Because now they might lose the objective here, especially since they just lost Hanzo. That's a staggered death. There's only one play to be made here, and that is get the hell out of there. Stay alive, get the hell out of that fight, and just don't end at this point. Defend against the Punisher, and take it from there. But they might have just cost themselves an easy victory. Maybe not easy, but... they had a lead that could have snowballed towards level 20 even if they lose the objective. But now with 2 kills in addition to that and the Haka plus Brightwing on the other side for globals, yeah, this could be a bit tricky. But again, we'll see. For now, they're still half a level ahead. Seems like they're giving up the bottom fort and not even go for this one. And yeah, top side, Wit against the Haka. So far still fine. Seems like they're trying to go for experience here as well. But yeah, they're not trying to defend this. They're simply letting the fort fall. They're saying, alright guys, we're heavily ahead in forts. We can sacrifice one. Just take it easy. Bait it over at the keep. Defending at the keep, soak experience, and try to go for 20. And I like that the Donuts are also attempting to take as many of the camps as they can right now. Fountain is gone, and down to the bottom of the map. Off we go. There's the play for the wall. Didn't even bait it over, by the way, but the defense is still pretty easy for them here. Catapult is helping out too. Spray game is on point. And in the mid lane, they open the wall up, but it's still all about level 20 at this point. So we'll see what else they can do here. We have right now 29 stacks for Johanna, so that means one more and she has an additional 5% self-healing. So Lauber even more self-sustained from here on out. It's going to be a level 20 advantage for the red team, but it shouldn't take the blue team too long to close that gap. Yeah, it shouldn't really be an issue. Down to the bottom, we currently have Backhult. Still trying to get some experience. The problem is always that these give vision, of course, as well, so you need to be careful with that. Yeah, mid lane, they try to go for Rutsu again, and keep in mind that Entomb is coming up in just a couple of seconds, so with that, Zeratul needs to be a lot more careful. He can't just simply jump out with a blink whenever he's being hit there. So this Entomb is going to be everything. If Wit is able to land a good one, that could decide the game. But there's a lot of great level 20 upgrades for the Chili Donuts as well, especially of course when we're talking about the Heaven's Fury, the cooldown reduction just being phenomenal here. And in addition to that, the Shadow Stride. Alright, plus also Haka Waka Shaki. Oh, get arrowed, baby! But the double kill, even without the support against the red team, turns it in favor of the Donuts. They take out the support, but then they seem to lose everybody else here. Another cooldown reducing move by Jojo. She kills 3 in a row. 5-man team wipe, as the blue team is obliterating everybody on the side of Team ORDAH. Brightwing, the only one that has fallen here, and they go for the keep. The beginning of the fight, very beneficial to Team ORDAH, and then it was just an utter disaster as Johanna comes in with the big damage, the big cooldown reset, interrupting everything, moving in, doing work, killing several. She's now sitting at 24,000 damage. Obviously, we have Lunara and Zeratul eclipsing her by quite a bit with 46 and 48,000, doubling it at this point. Brightwing can also teleport back in once that she's back up on the map. That makes matters even worse, and they go for an insta-kill on Leo once more. This is game. Seems like the Donuts still got it. They come in, they take down Team ORDAH and decide the game in their favor, move on to the semi-final. And for Team ORDAH, it was a lost opportunity, I think. They had definitely a chance there, especially in the mid-game, to pull farther ahead. But as the dust settles, it is the blue team, the Chili Donuts, that take victory on Infernal Shrines.